Okay, so what if your outreach messages wasn't cold at all because they started with something that your prospects actually said? So this is what we built. It's a system that scrapes comments on LinkedIn posts, and then we're using AI to read what they said. And then we're going to send them personalized DMs that feels like it was written by a human who actually read their comment. So obviously everything is running on autopilot inside of n8n so that you don't need to do anything manually. And if you want to use this for your own business, make sure to join our school community and download this flow there. If you're new here, I'm Magdalena. I'm the co-founder of Replic. I'm here to help you automate your entire outreach system with strategies and approaches that actually work. If you're interested in that, make sure to follow this channel for more, and let's get started. Okay, so let's start off with the strategy behind this automation and why it works. So the problem today is that cold outreach, well, it feels cold. Most LinkedIn DMs go straight to archive, and why? Because they feel too generic, robotic, and transactional. Meanwhile, your perfect prospects are already talking on LinkedIn, leaving thoughtful comments under posts in your space, and no one is using that golden intent signal to start conversation. And this is what we are doing. So we built this flow inside of n8n. So I have these 4 flows for you today that I'm going to show you. Instead of writing cold DMs, we're using your prospect's own words as the entry point. So step 1 here is that we're going to scrape a comment from LinkedIn posts. So all you have to do is to drop a post URL, ideally from someone your ICP follows or a topic that they engage with. The system is then going to pull everyone who commented plus their actual comment text. And step 2, we're going to filter for qualified leads. So we clean and qualify that list so you only reach out to people who fit your target persona. And then step 3 here is that we're going to use AI to generate a DM based on what they said. So this is the magic. We send the comment to ChatGPT, which analyzes the tone and the content, then writes a natural message like, "Hey Alex, nice take on name's LinkedIn post. Totally agree on insight, curious how you're thinking about follow-up." It feels like a reply to a conversation, not a pitch. And this is a game changer on LinkedIn, because if you start pitching there, no one will reply to you. What you want to do is to start conversations. So step 4 is automatically send the message through Unipile. So once the message is generated, it's pushed to Unipile and sends a LinkedIn DM. And all of this is going to be 100% automated for you. So the cons here of LinkedIn comments is that there are many bots and meaningless comments on LinkedIn today, unfortunately. So many LinkedIn comments are short, they're vague or meaningless, like "totally agree" or fire emoji. And using these directly in personalized DMs could backfire or make the message feel unnatural. So here's how to handle that inside of your n8n AI setup, because we want approaches and strategies that actually work and not just doing automations for the sake of automating. We want something that works. So here is number 1, add a comment quality filter step. So before sending to ChatGPT, run a basic check. If the comment is less than X characters, like 15 to 20, or have AI decide if it's generic. So if it contains only emojis or 1 to 3 words. You can use a ChatGPT prompt like, "Is this comment meaningful enough to base a personalized message on?" Reply with yes or no. And obviously only proceed if the answer is yes. And another option here is to have a fallback message strategy. If a comment is generic or meaningless or too short, use a post-based message instead of a comment-based message. So you can say, "Hey, first name, I noticed your comment on Amos post. Seems like something you're into. Out of curiosity, are you already doing?" And then you insert the benefit here. And that way you're still relevant, but not forced to pretend like emojis is a discussion point. So here's an example. So here, for instance, we have Amos. He shared a LinkedIn post talking about the challenges with Clay as a tool and why they chose to build their own SaaS differently. So here in the comments, if they say something like, "I love how Clay empowers non-tech teams to build custom systems," our system is going to see that, and the AI is going to reply with, "Hey Sarah, I loved your take on Clay, especially the no-code angle. Are you using it internally or for clients?" And that kind of message gets replies because it's rooted in context. Because we know that this is the part that she's actually interested in. And why this works is because you're not reaching out cold, you're replying to a thought. You're showing you actually read what they said, you're making the message feel like part of an existing conversation. And the best part here, you can do this across 10, 50 or even 100 of posts without lifting a finger. So here we see that this post have 270 comments. So add that to 10 or 20 or 50 posts within our niche with people that are actually interested in our topic. So now when you understand the strategy behind this automation, let me show you how it works. Okay, so in today's video I have 4 flows for you. I have this one, this one, this one, and this one. And basically this flow is a continuation of the previous flow we built, where we scrape the likes and then send them personalized emails. So if you're interested in that, make sure to watch my previous video. But in today's video I'm going to scrape the comments of the LinkedIn post, and then we're going to send them personalized DMs on LinkedIn instead. So here in the first flow we just basically open the chat here and then enter the URL of the LinkedIn post that we want to scrape the comments from. And we're using something called Appify. This one, LinkedIn post engages likers and commenters inside of our system. And in the second flow here, once the Appify scraper is finished, we're going to then use proxy curl to scrape the LinkedIn profile of each lead and then add information of each lead. And once we have the enriched data from each lead, we're going to then be able to qualify the lead. So if we're entering this, here we can see that we added some criteria for our ICP, and this is obviously something that you can change if you would like. Then we're going to add all of the information inside of the Google Sheet we have right here. And so in the third one, once we have retrieved all of the leads, since LinkedIn is super sensitive and we don't want to block our LinkedIn account, we need to have limits. That's why we use this limit node right here to make it safer to send connection requests at scale. So having the limits in consideration, we then send connection requests if the lead is qualified. So if it passes this qualification step right here, then we're going to send them LinkedIn connection requests. And once the LinkedIn connection request is sent, we're going to update the sheet again so that you can follow the lead's journey. And then in the last step here, we're going to check if the leads accepted our connection request, and we're using something called Unipile to send LinkedIn DMs on autopilot. Once they accepted the request, we can then craft a LinkedIn DM based on their comment. So if we looked at the prompt here, we asked the AI to be an expert LinkedIn copywriter who turns post-comment interactions into warm, non-salesy DMs. And then we give them tasks and also rules to follow, and a description of how to write the post. And we also say if someone comment is just tagging someone else or just using a smiley or a short comment with no insight, then go with a generic DM based on the post. So here is a generic comment. We say, hey, first name, notice your comment on post author's post about core topic. Are you already doing post content topic? So even if someone is posting something generic, we have a fallback message for that. And inside of the node, we also added more input like their first name, their comment, post author, and also the post content to make the reply as relevant as possible. This is basically what this flow is doing. And now I'm going to run it live to show you how it looks. Okay, so let's start this one and also this one. So we open the chat here, we go to LinkedIn, we take the URL from the post that we want to scrap the comments from, we just add it here inside of the system, and then we run this, and then we're going to use Appify here to scrap the comments. And in the next one, we're going to then use proxy curl to scrap the LinkedIn profiles and add more data to each lead, and then we're going to qualify the leads and add everything inside of this Google Sheet right here. Here it comes. So here we can see that we have the post link, the URL profile, first name, last name, the comments, and then job title, followers, etc. And then we're going to start this flow and also this one. So basically we want to send connection requests to each lead, and once they accepted our connection request, we're going to then craft a personalized DM and send it on LinkedIn. So we can then follow here to see that we are now adding the provider ID right here so that we can match which ones in our sheet that actually accepted our connection request to know who we should send messages to. Normally we would wait until they accepted our request, but now I'm just going to force this to show you how it's gonna look like when the system is sending LinkedIn DMs on LinkedIn. So now I'm going to test this. You can see that we sent the message here, the chat has started, and then we have the message right here, and we can see now that we have pushed the messages to LinkedIn. So the message is saying, hey Jody, I like how you pointed out that tech should simplify rather than add complexity. So this is something he said in his comment, and this is what we are using in the message. That's such an important mindset to have these days. How do you usually spot when a tool is complicating things instead of making work easier? What we're doing is that we are continuing a conversation that already happened on LinkedIn by his comment. So I really hope you see the power of this flow and why the strategy behind the automations are so important, because we're not just spamming and blasting, we are actually using their own words inside of the message and starting a really human-like conversation. And this is how we increase reply rates on LinkedIn outreach instead of just pitching random services or random products without knowing if the prospect is actually interested in what we have to say. If this automation makes sense to you, I hope it really does, because we're going to run this for ourselves. Then make sure to join our school community where I upload flows like this each week for you to use in your own business. So we started this community for salespeople, entrepreneurs, or business owners who are losing deals because they don't know how to use tech or automations to scale their business. If this is you, make sure to join now, because prices increase each 10 members. So I really hope you find value in this video. If you do, please comment and like this video down below. I look forward to talk to you again in the next video. Have a good week. Bye.